My student, today we talk about the last part in the skeletal, axial skeleton, which is the hyoid bone. ما يطلق عليه بالعربي العظم اللامي. الهايود بون نعرفه ونقول is a U-shaped structure located in the anterior neck. The U-shape or مرات يسموه مثل حدبة الحصان. U-shape that presents in the anterior aspect of the neck below the mandible. All of you know the mandible. This is below the mandible. U-shape. It lies at the base of the mandible, approximately at the level of third cervical vertebra. C3, I mean by C3, the third cervical vertebra. That's say, at this level, the hyoid bone is present in our neck, and the anterior aspect of the neck, where it acts as the site of attachment for the anterior neck muscles. The hyoid bone, function مالته هنا عندنا بالanterior aspect of the neck, is for attachment of the muscles on the anterior aspect of the neck. Now we talk about the structure of the hyoid bone. This hyoid bone is composed of many parts. These parts include, number one, the body of hyoid bone, second, the greater horn, and third, the lesser horn. You see this picture, we show this picture, this is the hyoid bone. And of course, you know, as we said previously, it presented the anterior aspect of the neck and at the level of the third cervical vertebra. Here is the third cervical vertebra. At this level, the hyoid bone is present. And this hyoid bone, as I said, is composed of three main parts. Number one is the body of the hyoid bone. This is the body of hyoid bone. Number two, this is the greater horn. Horn يعني قرن. شلون قرن مال حيوان أجلكم الله. هذه greater horn, and this is the lesser horn. So these are the three main parts of the hyoid bone: the body, the greater horn, and the lesser horn. Now, what are these parts? The hyoid bone, as I said, composed of the body. First of all, the body, which is the central part of the bone. الجزء المركزي من الهايد بون U-shaped is called the body of the hyoid bone. It has an anterior convex surface. Anterior convex surface. Anterior surface مالته يكون convex محدب. And a concave posterior surface. والposterior surface of the hyoid bone is concave, let's say مقعر. The second part is the greater horn. The greater horn, it projects from each end of the body in a posterior, superior, lateral direction. What I mean by these things? In a superior, posterior, and lateral direction. From the body, from each side of the body. That's say we have two greater horn. One on the right and one on the right and one on the left. From the side of the body. Pass, superior, posterior, and lateral directions. So, it acts as a site of attachment for numerous neck muscles. This greater horn is a site for attachment of many muscles, as I will tell you later on, of the anterior aspect of the neck. The other part, or the third part of the hyoid bone is called the lesser horn. القرن الصغير. Lesser horn arises from the superior aspect. From the superior aspect of the body of hyoid bone near the origin of the greater horn. That's say, arise from the superior aspect. This is the superior aspect of the hyoid bone near the origin of the greater horn. This is the greater horn. This is the origin of a greater horn. Near the origin of a greater horn, this lesser horn arises from the body. It projects superolaterally. It projects superolaterally, like this, superolaterally from the body of the hyoid bone. Towards الاتجاه مالته من يصعد superolaterally towards the styloid process of the temporal bone. You know, we remember the styloid process. Last lecture we talked about the styloid process, which is part of the temporal bone. So this lesser horn directed superiorly laterally towards باتجاه الstyloid process that descend from the temporal bone. The stylohyoid ligament attached to the apex of the lesser horn. As the apex, القمة مالت lesser horn, there is a ligament which pass between the styloid process and the lesser horn of styloid of the hyoid bone. Now, what are the muscles that are attached to the hyoid bone? We divide these muscles into 3 groups. Now, when we said that the hyoid bone is a unique, in fact. What do we mean by unique? unique يعني فريد من نوعه. البون الوحيد بالجسم اللي ما عنده articulations with other bones. ولهذا يسمونه فريد من نوعه، وحيد من نوعه. So the hyoid bone is a unique in the fact that it does not articulate with any other bones in the region, in the body, and is suspended. طيب هو إذا ما عنده articulation مع other bones, how it is present in this area? Because it is suspended, يعني معلق by muscles above the hyoid bone and muscles below hyoid bone and on the side of the hyoid bone. So these muscles in relation to the hyoid bone make the hyoid bone stable in its place. It has no any articulation. العظم الوحيد بجسم الإنسان اللي ما عنده articulation، ما عنده تمفصل مع أي عظم آخر هو الهايد بون. It acts as a site of attachment of many muscles. مثل ما قلنا إنه these muscles قسمناها إلى 3 groups. الجروب الأول من muscles attached to the hyoid bone are related to the oral cavity and pharynx. Are muscles related to the oral cavity and pharynx, and we will talk about these muscles later on in the future, inshallah, in the next lectures. Just you know their names, and these muscles we'll study these muscles in details in the other lecture in the future, inshallah. So, what are these muscles related to the oral cavity and pharynx? Number 1, we have a muscle which is called middle pharyngeal constrictor muscles. Number 1, middle pharyngeal constrictor muscle. Number 2, a muscle which is called hyoglossus muscle. Hyoglossus, بين الهايد بون بين tongue. And the third muscle, genioglossus muscle, which is between the geniotubercle and the tongue, and it has some origin from the hyoid bone also. Other group of muscles are called suprahyoid. You know what's mean by supra? Supra يعني فوق. I mean the muscles that are above the hyoid bone, and these are 4 muscles, sorry. And what are these muscles? The gastric muscle. العضلة ذات البطنين. راح ندرسها بالتفصيل إن شاء الله مستقبلا. Second muscle, which is called stylohyoid muscle. بين الستايلو process بين الهايد bone. Other muscle, geniohyoid muscle, between the genial tubercle of the mandible and the hyoid bone. The other muscle, mylohyoid muscle, between the body of mandible and the hyoid bone. So these are the suprahyoid muscles. That means above the level of the hyoid bone. The other group of muscles are called infrahyoid muscles. I mean, infra means below. Muscles below the hyoid bone, and this includes 3 muscles. Let's say thyrohyoid muscle, بين الثايرويد cartilage راح ادرسها مستقبلا ان شاء الله، والهايد bone. Other muscles is called omohyoid muscle between the scapula and the hyoid bone، ايضا ندرسها مستقبلا. وعندنا sternohyoid muscle between the sternum and the hyoid bone. Lastly, what are the ligaments that attach? We talk about 3 groups of muscles, and now we talk about what are ligaments that attach to the hyoid bone. There are 3 main ligaments that attach to the body of the hyoid bone. These ligaments are, number 1, stylohyoid, and we talked about it previously, between the styloid process and the hyoid bone, the apex of the lesser horn of the hyoid bone. Second is the thyrohyoid membrane. هنا membrane, it's like ligaments, fibrous tissue between the upper border of the posterior border of the thyroid cartilage and the hyoid bone. Well, lastly, we have the hyoepiglotic ligament between the epiglottis design mesmar. We will study, inshallah, the larynx, anatomy of the larynx in the future, inshallah. And this hyoepiglotic ligament connects the hyoid bone to the anterior aspect of the epiglottis. So this is the picture, and this is in very short details about the hyoid bone. And lastly, inshallah, المحاضرة القادمة راح نعمل لكم بيها كويز فتدرسوها مليح إن شاء الله.